The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
The EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta is the Steel City's official 4th of July celebration. And once again, some of the world's best powerboat racers have come to test their mettle against the wicked Allegheny River and earn the title of North American champion. Buckle up, race fans. RMG's Hydro Zone from Pittsburgh starts now. Race fans, welcome to downtown Pittsburgh, where it's time for RMG's Hydro Zone's coverage of the 2014 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Hello again, everyone. Jared Romsberg here. Excited to be back in Steel Town. There are always so many great events with the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Let's take a look at some of them during the EQT pre-race show. EQT, where energy meets innovation. 2014 marks the 200th anniversary of Francis Scott Key's poem, Defense of Fort McHenry, better known as the Star-Spangled Banner. Presented by Colcom Foundation and led by world champion sand sculptor Thomas Cott, the sensational master sculptors turned 200 tons of sand into this amazing scene from our nation's history. And speaking of history, the History Cross Country Cookout was on hand at Point State Park. Biker Battleground Phoenix had some cool rides on display, and fans at the regatta got to meet Swamp People star Troy Landry. And in true Swamp People style, many fans had the chance to do some alligator wrestling of their own at this year's regatta. There's always great food at the regatta, and the History Ultimate Smoker and Grill added another flavor with samples from Trace the Rib Whisperer Arnold. As usual, there was high-flying action at the regatta as Pogo Palooza, the X-Pogo World Championship Series, wowed the crowds. Extreme Pogo's top athletes were in Steel Town, competing for fame, fortune, and fun, chasing after titles in events that include Best Trick, Highest Bounce, and many endurance events. While the pros were trying to break some world records, fans also had the opportunity to try their pogo skills out, and they quickly learned that it's not nearly as easy as the pros make it look. It's an annual regatta tradition, the Anything That Floats race. This year, a record number of entries took to the waters of the Allegheny to see if their crazy crafts had what it takes to win the race and raise money for the charity of their team's choice. Hundreds of fans lined the North Shore cheering their teams on as these novice navigators battled to win the race, as well as the best decorated, fastest sinker, and other awards, all in the name of charity. Then, as the sun went down, the music cranked up as former Journey lead vocalist Steve Augeri took to the One Main Financial main stage at Point State Park. Augeri and his band belted out some of Journey's greatest hits in front of tens of thousands of fans that jammed into Pittsburgh to hear him perform. The One Main Financial stage also hosted Pittsburgh jazz hero Kenny Blake and over a dozen more local and national acts. But Steve Augeri got the crowd warmed up for one of the top 10 fireworks shows in America, the EQT Flashes of Freedom Fireworks Show. Produced by one of the most celebrated names in pyrotechnics and the region's hometown favorite, Zambelli Fireworks, the show topped a regatta that saw record-breaking attendance numbers, nearing 750,000 spectators for the three-day event. But we have to move from the skies above Pittsburgh back down to the Allegheny River, where it's almost time to race on the Allegheny. Fans don't move a muscle. The North American Championships are coming up right after this.
This segment of the 2014 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta is brought to you by One Main Financial. Your needs, your goals, your dreams.
Race fans, welcome back to the 2014 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Today's 75 degrees and low humidity is fantastic weather, but the high winds and strong current on the Allegheny forced Powerboat Superleague to alter the race schedule, and the North American Championship races were reduced from 15 to 10 laps. Let's take a look at highlights from the SST 200 Championship race. Ashton Rinker in the Amsoil 20 sat on the pole, but his brother, Rob Rinker, in the Amsoil 30 was about a yard away as they exploded off of the dock to start the North American Championship. A three-wide battle for second would ensue as Rob Rinker, Jimmy Merlou, and the 32 of Merv Bjork went three wide, with Jimmy Merlou then exploding on the backstretch, taking the lead, with Merv Bjork following in tow, getting by Ashton Rinker. Fenville, Michigan's Jimmy Merlou and the Granger Chevrolet 69 held the inside line and took the lead out of turn 4, slamming the door on Merv Bjork. The woes for Zimmerman, Minnesota's Merv Bjork would continue as later on that same lap, Rob Rinker came up on the inside of Bjork and hugged the buoys, taking the second place slot as they began the first lap. 2 laps later, Rinker began to pester our leader Jimmy Merlou as they went into turn 3. Merlou had the position, but Rinker stayed on the throttle and tried to wrap around turns 3 and 4, only to find himself almost going airborne outside of turn 4 and slamming down hard on the Allegheny as Merlou absconded with the lead. Rob Rinker did not give up. On the very next lap, it looked like a carbon copy of lap 2, with Merlou slowing down in turn 3 and Rinker going wide out of 3 and 4. But this time Merlou drifted wide, coming out of turn 4, coming down the front stretch and pinching Rob Rinker dangerously close to the Fort Duquesne Bridge. Rinker stayed on the throttle and the battle continued, coming down the front stretch and into turns 1 and 2 where they went side by side, thrilling the fans on both sides of the Allegheny. Seconds later on the very same lap, turns 3 and 4 would be a boxing ring once again as these two made contact and Rob Rinker was pushed wide out of turn 4, and then Merlou would once again take the outside lane, coming down the front stretch, forcing Rinker to go way wide. But again, Rob Rinker did not give up. He stayed on the throttle and would move alongside of our leader in turns 1 and 2. This time, the two made it through the turns cleanly, and Rob Rinker moved to the outside, put the throttle down, and put the Amsoil 30 into the lead in Pittsburgh. They would all line up behind Tampa, Florida's Rob Rinker as he would go on to win the SST 200 North American Championship. Rinker and Merlou are joined by Merv Bjork on the podium. Michael Floyd and Ashton Rinker round out the field. In the SST 120 North American Championship, 75 Michael the Hurricane Floyd from Rincon, Georgia sat on the pole, but Jeff Reno, our 2009 winner in Pittsburgh, sat right next to him as they exploded off of the dock. Reno powered ahead with 20, Ashton Rinker to his right as they made it to the commitment buoy and slid onto the backstretch, skipping across the top of the Allegheny River. Reno held on to the lead as they began lap 1, but in turns 1 and 2, he went wide, opening the door for Ashton Rinker, who slid on the inside and started the fight with the Jet for the lead. Disaster almost struck the Amsoil 20 as Ashton Rinker caught a little bit of air and almost stuffed his boat on the backstretch. Jeff Reno also having trouble, limping towards turn 3. Rinker got back on his horse and powered past the Jet, taking the lead as Reno limped along, watching boat after boat go by. In the waning laps of the race, 75, the Hurricane, Michael Floyd, came up alongside of our leader and pestered him for the lead. But Ashton Rinker held the inside line and held on to win, making it a clean sweep for Team Amsoil as Ashton Rinker took home the checkered flag in the SST 120 North American Championship. Rookie John Ludwig had a career-high finish, joining Floyd and Rinker on the podium. Tom Ludwig and Jeff Reno round out the field. Race fans, don't move a muscle. Powerboat Superleague's feature race at the 2014 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta is coming up next.
This segment of the 2014 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta is brought to you by Trib Total Media. We do things right here.
Race fans, welcome back to the Allegheny River and the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta, where a record-breaking crowd is on hand. Both sides of the Allegheny are packed. The bleachers in Point State Park, the great lawn is full. Everybody's ready for some fantastic powerboat racing. Here's the starting lineup of Powerboat Superleague's Formula 2 racers here in Pittsburgh. Rob Rinker on the pole, Ashton Rinker only about a yard and a half away as we now go dockside. You can hear the fuel pumps are on, the canopies are closed. All eyes are now on the flagman as we wait for the drop of the flag. And we're racing in Pittsburgh.
Go, 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 go! You and Rob are pretty much next to each other. Keep going, keep going. Okay, you got Merv hard charging on the outside. Just stay with Ashton, stay with Ashton. Just you, all by yourself. Ashton's in second.
Rob Rinker shoots ahead. He was the pole sitter. He's going to lead the fleet as they go 3 wide into turn 3. 3 wide battle as they go into turn 3. Oh, and Ashton Rinker hit the turn 3 buoy, and now he's trying to get turned around and get back into the race as everybody takes off down the front stretch.
Get back in it, Ashton. You got it. Come on.
Ashton Rinker's spotter telling him to get back on his horse as we see his younger brother Rob Rinker from the pole take off with the lead as we begin lap 1 of this weather-shortened 10-lap feature event. Merv Bjork just now leaving turn 2, chasing after Rob Rinker.
Merv's coming. He's on the inside. 10 back.
Rob Rinker's spotter is his father, Terry Rinker, who is a familiar name to boat racing fans in Pittsburgh. He's won the past 3 Formula 2 feature races here at the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta as we ride along with the Hurricane, Michael Floyd. Merv Bjork in second place had a little bit of trouble there outside of turn 4. We're going to see if Michael Floyd can catch up to Merv Bjork as they blast down the front stretch.
Good shape. Reno's running like a maniac out. You know, he's coming on your outside. He's trying to come on your outside, but he's still 3 or 4 boat lengths back.
Michael Floyd's spotter, Sam Haraway, letting him know that Jeff Reno in the silver and blue 34 is coming up right behind him. Reno won here in 2009, and he loves this rough water of the Allegheny as we watch our leader, Rob Rinker, go through turns 3 and 4, nice and smooth, and blast down the front stretch underneath the Fort Duquesne Bridge. As I said just a few moments ago, Rob Rinker riding in that black Amsoil boat. Last year it had a number 10 on it as Terry Rinker made it to the top of the podium here in Pittsburgh, but you can see Merv Bjork in a Total Medical Supply 32 coming on strong back in second. That's actually Bjork's backup boat. Bjork wrecked his primary boat at a race in Bay City just 1 week ago, and we see that he was able to get his backup boat to Pittsburgh, and here he is riding in second place in arguably one of the largest, if not the largest, powerboat races in North America, perhaps even in the world. Hop on board with our third place driver now coming through turns 3 and 4, heading towards Fort Duquesne Bridge. That's Rincon, Georgia's Michael Floyd. Floyd is from Rincon, Georgia. He's racing the Kerry Hilliard 75 boat. Coming back strong to powerboat racing after a 2-year absence. Michael Floyd moving his boat around through turns 1 and 2. Whoa, had a little bit of trouble there, skipped up out of the water. You can see the waters of the Allegheny continue to be unforgiving, but one driver that loves these rough waters is the Jet, Jeff Reno, your 2009 winner here in Pittsburgh. All of the powerboat races here in Pittsburgh shortened today due to rough currents delaying the start of the races. High winds as well, but we can see Jeff Reno moving right along back and forth.
Breeze is picking up a little bit at your base.
Jeff's wife, Carol Reno, on the radio working as his spotter here in Pittsburgh. She's a podium finisher here in the Formula 3 ranks as we catch up with Ashton Rinker, the Heartbreak Kid, in this Formula 2 feature race. You can see the telltale sign. He's got the buoy wrapped onto the front pickle fork of the Amsoil 20. He grabbed that buoy as the fleet went through turn 3 at the start of the race. Let's take a look, gang. Here they come down the back stretch and into turn 3, and there it is, straight up onto the sponson, and he'll be penalized a lap. Now, they won't score that until the very end of the race, so we'll keep him in position, but he's going to be docked a full lap as right behind him, here comes his younger brother, Rob Rinker, the leader of this race, already starting to put boats a lap down. As we look through the fleet, we catch up with the 98 boat of John Ludwig. The Millersport, Ohio driver is working his way through his first season in a Formula 2 tunnel hull. He's getting a valuable education today on the Allegheny, one of the roughest places to race a powerboat. Right now, he's riding in 5th, which is a very respectable position when you consider these rough conditions in Pittsburgh. Right behind him, it's a family affair. It's his brother, Tom Ludwig, from St. Petersburg, Florida. That's a brand new engine on the back of the 81 boat as Tom Ludwig begins his second season in Formula 2 competition. He's currently being shown in last place, but as I said, gang, Ashton Rinker is going to be docked a lap for puncturing a turn 3 buoy. So Ludwig will move up a slot as we look at the guy in the top slot, Rob Rinker, once again, Team Amsoil putting a fantastic ride together.
Very nice, very nice. Looking good, nice and smooth. That's a good attitude right there. You're getting through that stuff better than anybody.
Oh, you better be out in front where you're getting advice from a guy like Terry Rinker, a championship driver of many types of powerboats.
All right, he's on your inside. Watch him. He'll be lapping you. Stop.
Carol Reno coming across the radio, letting her husband Jeff Reno know in the 34 boat that the leader is coming up on his 6. Reno wisely just moves off to the side and lets the leader by. Rob Rinker's on the back stretch, and here comes Merv Bjork just now in the middle of the front stretch as Rob Rinker's amassed a huge lead over second place Merv Bjork and the rest of the fleet.
2 to go. 2 to go. Just drive your race like you're doing. Just be careful, real careful in the turns.
Sam Haraway, the spotter for Michael Floyd, letting him know just take his time. There's only 2 laps to go here in this Formula 2 feature race at the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. As we ride along with Floyd, look at the fans. They have packed the stands in Point State Park. There isn't a square to spare over on the Great Lawn on the North Shore. Everybody taking in some fantastic powerboat racing on an absolutely picture-perfect day here in the Steel City as we watch for one last time through turns 3 and 4. Rob Rinker absolutely dominating this event. Hey, it's a family tradition with the Rinkers. They come into Pittsburgh, they walk out with the trophy.
Very nice, very nice. Congratulations, good run.
Rob Rinker takes the checkered in Pittsburgh. Fans will catch up to Rinker during the ISM USA post-race show right after this. Race fans, welcome back to the 2014 EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. There's your Formula 2 winner, Rob Rinker, along with his girlfriend, Katie Williams, taking their victory lap as we welcome you to the ISM USA post-race show. ISM USA, event management from every angle. First up, here's your SST 120 North American champion.
Oh, it's really big. I mean, I worked really hard all this year. Started off rough in LaGrange. Had some troubles, fuel problems in Knoxville. But Amsoil came back to back us up and get us up front. Biggest thing right now is this win goes out to my fiance, Melissa Mestry, and my son, Dalton. They mean the world to me. And my prayers are right now for my brother-in-law and his girlfriend, Sarah Martinez. So this one is for my family.
Ashton Rinker's success did not carry over into the Formula 2 feature race. He just couldn't recover from striking that buoy at the race start. Here's your third place finisher.
Oh man, we didn't land off the beach like we wanted to. We got washed down to the commitment buoy, but we got lucky going through the first turn, passed a few people and got out front. Boat ran good. It's just hard to beat them Rinker guys. They got it figured out and they got great help.
Okeechobee, Florida's Jeff Reno finished 4th in a respectable top 5 finish for the rookie John Ludwig. Now, here's your runner-up, Pittsburgh.
Well, that was a challenge in itself, just finishing the race. I believe we had the right wheel to get off the beach, but we didn't have the right one for the long stretch. And so be it. It was a safer, deal for me, so I'm satisfied with the second place.
Our hats go off to Merv Bjork, taking home the second place finish in his backup boat. Now, Pittsburgh, here is your Formula 2 feature race champion.
Oh yeah, it was a rough ride. Obviously, you've seen the water out there. It was treacherous at best. Yeah, I mean, it was. We did our best to keep the boat rolling, and I mean, Amsoil is just working hard every day.
EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta always brings great family fun to Pittsburgh, and 2014 was no exception. For the entire RMG Sports crew, I'm Jared Romsberg. Until 2015, race fans, we'll see you on the water.